So we come by the back straightaway here. Ready for this 40 lapper Daytona 100 USAC event. As we get ready, it's awfully slow here in the back. They're trying to figure out what to do, I think. I mean, we are on supposedly a pace lap, so I mean, I'm not really bothered by it. As long as we don't all wreck from it. So we go now. I remember the car is a little wobbly under acceleration. There we go. Here we go. This car is probably better than theirs. That's probably why we're doing so good right now. I did put the spread for the opponent's strength very large, because I think that helps them kind of spread out on this track, because they like to wreck a lot for some reason. So maybe that'll help us with our racing, even though it might have gave us an easy top 10. Who knows, it might not even give us a win. Sarah already made it to the line. I'm next to Bill Cheeseburg, who stopped when George Amick had his fatal wreck down the backstretch, which we're only doing this race. We're not doing the Libra race unless I somehow decide to, and I'm like really up for it. And if this goes the way I think it, and hope it does. So this does go the way it does, and it should be a 20 lapper next that we do at this track, and somebody wrecked. It's Bill Randall, I think. Yeah, Bill Randall. So far, the only car that I've seen wreck. So that's a plus from what I've been experiencing with this combination so far. Just think the AI for these cars are just not smart on these types of tracks, because they drive Indy like pretty well to where I can accept a little a little variety of wrecks, you know? They don't wreck so many times. Here they just wreck and wreck and wreck and wreck and wreck and wreck and wreck. For some reason. I just don't understand it, because the AI lines are still pushed towards the wall for some reason. Little break there. Got rid of this. I always think I hit Pat there. Oh, try not to hit Jude Larson as there's Bill Randall still stopped on the track there. As Jim Rathman is the leader, and we're gonna probably pass him before I wouldn't expect it, or I wouldn't not expect it, is what I meant to say. It's kind of what's gonna have to happen here with the way that these AI are. Wish it would be better, but that's just kind of the only way I can do this race. Could just say that we're cheating, like I did one race I did where I was dominating the field. I think if we were able to have AI lines better, it would be perfect, because they wouldn't wreck so many times. Even then, like the other cars I run on this track, and I'm gonna run on this track, they run really close to the wall, like right up here, the whole corner. And it's just like, you don't need a line up there. Like, put it further down. Like, it should be this second groove or third groove, not the fourth groove. We get going, or get lap 5 in. So we're just gonna do this race. It's really no point at this point for me to do a Formula Libra race. And George Amick wrecks anyways and retires, and we can literally say that we were just kind of not wanting to have the same fate, pretty much. And also, I don't like winning every single race. but when it's harder, it's fun. When it's hard and I'm sucking, it's trash. When I'm sucking but it's fun, like if I'm mid-pack and having fun, having battles, it's perfect. Like I don't care if I'm losing. It's when I lose when it's not fun. Like Myrtle Beach in 62, when I did that season mode, that was just annoying. Cause like I couldn't even compete for a position. Like I think I'd wreck somebody so I could get a position. And if not, I just wrecked myself out of the race because there was just like no point. Oh, he's starting to gain back some. Well, not really. He probably just got tight back there. He had it for a second and then it's like, nah. That was a really close shift. Maybe let it off a little bit more into the corner with him like that. We have the whole field running still, so that's nice. I think maybe one dropped out that last lap. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to the top there. But this look like, okay, it looks like one car is stopped on pit road and not moving. One car stopped on pit road and kept going. So that's a really good sign so far. Also, I don't know if I think IndyCar's races were kind of like this anyways. Because I think all racing back then were like this anyways. Clean races, besides when it went wrong eventually. Like Al Keller there. Where he wrecked off of 2 there. But not much like wrecking, but when they wrecked it was mostly spectacular sometimes. Or most of the time. That's really where most of the flips happened were from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And then once they got to like late 70s, those cars were so heavy that the only way they would flip and the center mass wasn't more weight shifting anymore and very easy to flip. They kind of shift towards only being able to do blowovers. As we see 2 cars there on the infield, we're gonna lift. We're gonna let coast around these guys, make sure we don't wreck on them. I lifted a little too much, and Roger Ward wrecked there. And I think not talking about the point I'm talking about before. I think these guys I'm about to lap 3rd and 4th are getting held up by cars that are wrecking, which just started happening this lap and last lap, so I don't know how to feel about that. We're so fast compared to them, obviously, so I just can't really do much about it. Well, he wasn't too far off. He was a second off. He wasn't too far off with my like click time. Yeah, Elmer George wrecked Roger Ward, Pat Felty? Get around these guys on the inside. They must have had somebody check up a lot. I don't think in this race, so particularly, there would have been that many lap down cars. Because I'm pretty sure this race, Jim Raffman and Dick Raffman were out in front of the field, but they weren't absolutely dominating the race. Anyway, with 31 to go, try and get this done in reasonable time if we can have all cars still on the racetrack, and I can finish this with some type of legitimacy, I guess. Even though it's not real legitimacy, but I wanted to run this race in this track to see if it was better, and I don't know. I just can't really fix it besides having to just be the fastest car. The only reason why I lost the other race was because I wrecked and was stalled, and then had to put in the first, and we wrecked around lap 3-ish. So I had to gain more ground in a leader since I keep a big spread most of the time. They had such a big lead to the point I couldn't even think about getting to them. So that's why that one I couldn't win. If I didn't wreck, I would have probably got to them by the end of the race, since I actually was close to getting to them by the end of the race. This, as you see here, we're only lapping Jim Ruffman, because look at these guys. They're checked up, they're 3 wide, they're blocking him. It's not like the upcoming video with the compact cars where they can get around them, and also they're still fast AI, you know. Because on that race, at least I had some type of competition, because at first it was not good looking and it wasn't too good looking. Got Jim Packard right there in front of us. And again, not all cars are correct, because I mean, can't really do that. It's not my. Also, since some of the cars that I can get right, for some reason the car model just breaks the game. But I never understood why it does that. It just breaks the game, so I have to use these cars, and even those cars have problems. Like they're also faster, so it makes sense of them wrecking harder or wrecking more. But I just don't understand these guys wrecking so much. Because I have to lower the difficulty for them to even be like this, where they don't wreck every single lap and take out every single car. That's why we're winning so easily. Now, if the track career is made a line where they're around here, it would be perfect. Like, I can make it as difficult as I want, as long as I'm, like, you know, in contention. I can't speak, sorry. In contention, you know. Gotta live. Get back in the throttle. That was a last minute decision from Don Bronson there. Here I'm Bob Christie. Jimmy Davies, I think that's what his last name is. Yeah, he hit the wall, and that's another thing about these walls. You can't really like touch them. They really just spit you out. They're not walls that I would put in as guardrails. I mean, it makes sense. They are guardrails, so it makes sense for them to just spit you back out. But I would have preferred a little bit more of a solid thing when it comes to wrecking or racing on this, and having the AI have so much trouble like that. Because it would mean that they would at least run the wall and then like bounce off of it, and maybe lose time still, but they wouldn't lose a whole race from it. I'm not like trashing the track. The track is amazing. I think whoever made these Indy cars with AI kind of messed up. They needed to make them a lot less, or a lot more smarter, in running a line that's around here up to that third line-ish. I might even, you know what, I might just take a pit stop just so I can level it out, since I don't know if we need a pit stop anyway, so I'm gonna just check. How much fuel? Oh, we will need a pit stop anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll take tires then, I guess. That'd be nice about it. I guess it's the only one. Actually gonna do some pressure changes, because this is not right for an oval. Also just because I want to see what we can do. We're just gonna see what happens. We're just gonna mess with the setup as much as possible and see what happens. If we're slow, we're slow. Blame the crew chief, which is me. I thought he was gonna stay a little lower, so I went higher. and then he went higher, and I almost spun. Luckily, I saved it. Coming down pit lane. Nope. Come on. You have about 5 cars out of the race, or off in pit lane at least. I think there's at least 7 cars like actually out of the race, including the cars in pit lane at least. There we go. That was a bad pit stop entry. That was the worst pit stop entry I've ever experienced. And I forget how long these tires take, so this is actually even better. I mean, it makes sense. It's just the animation is just not correct, which I know they can't really do much with the animation. It's kind of just a limitation. I wish you could, though. That'd be fun. Be able to see them use the hammers and knock off the little knobs to take out the tire. So get back on the racetrack. AJ Foyt right behind me, very slow. So we're just gonna pull up in front of him before we get to the corner so we don't wreck on the apron. And as I went down pit lane to give a lap back to Jim Raffman, I think Jim Raffman, yeah, he wrecked. Jesus. Nothing's going my way. So we're currently a lap ahead. We were about to make it 2 laps ahead, but now we're only 1 lap ahead. Or still a lap ahead, but now like closer to having them unlap themselves pretty much. So I got Jim Packard and Tony Benninghausen. We're using the apron. These are the 50/60s. I can use the apron all I want. I have full regards to just throw it down there if I need to. As long as I don't wreck myself or somebody else. Yeah, I know like watching it's gonna be very like, or viewing is gonna be very boring because we're like winning by so much, but I guarantee you the other videos are gonna be a lot better. And also, if whenever we can have a 59 mod for NR or 59 schemes for cars that I can get for free and then not pay $700,000 for the schemes for the 59, like most of the 59 car set, like all the cars, like convertibles, mix of hardtops. If I can get most of those, like even if it's not more than 43, like if it's 43, it's 43. If it's like 50, it's 50. If it's around, actually I think it was like 50 in real life, it was like 57 cars. Like, as long as it's past the 42 mark, and I'm number 43 technically, I'll take that set. And then do a race, and then try to, it would still be the 60 lapper since I can't do 200 laps on this, but maybe I can do 100 laps. I'm not sure. It really depends on what happens. Depends on also how the racing is. If the racing isn't what I desire, then we're gonna do 60 laps. If it's what I desire, we're doing 100. That's really all I can do, or all I can say. In NR, I can guarantee the racing is going to be fine, so I can do 60. Also, I think in NR, it's just a great number for it, too, because even though it ends before it started, when you do the 3X for pit stops and tires and stuff like that, I think it works really well with what I have. Especially when I can stretch out the field at the beginning of the races and then cut straight like packs for the races, and sometimes there's just strings of cars by themselves. I like it. Here, I think it would make it even more, like, strung out. Like, it would be perfect. Since this drafting in this game ain't like a NASCAR game. It's literally like 1950s type drafting. No, man. Tony Benhausen. Or that was Johnny Thomas, actually. Almost got the guy completely... Oh, there's two Elmer Georges. I just realized that. Well, that's fine. It's not like I've had duplicate names before in these last race videos, like in GTR 2, you know? It's not the worst thing to have a problem with. I didn't realize that until now. If they pit, I'll pit again. Because I want to make sure I don't absolutely destroy the field. And also because we had a pit that first time for sure. And depending on how early that is, we're probably going to have to pit again. Because if it was only 20 laps of fuel, I really short pitted that actually. Why I kind of dozed off for a second. I don't know why I did that. I was originally trying to let off and like draft behind him, and then I kind of dozed off for a second. Like I had that weird period where you just kind of not remember what you did that period. So I kind of just locked on him, I guess. I was trying to like draft off him and then pull out right at the last minute. I was trying to like lift a little bit, try to save some fuel, but that went completely wrong. Luckily I didn't wreck him and then end our race from it. I think I just missed time doing that. I do like that he, the guy that made this track, I don't, Sergio, I think it was his name, I could be wrong. I do like that he added the real, like, early, as-made, like, literally 1960 road course variants of the track, because I really needed a version like that. I really wanted a version that could support the actual saloon car race, or a compact car race, the Cannonball Canyon race, or Cannonball compact race for 16, 61 for NASCAR when they used that road course variant that I used in that video when after this gets posted. Yeah, I do appreciate, even though he made this as a 70s variant, that it's pretty much just a 60s, but they added road course chicane down the backstretch of the bus stop. And I also do like the fact that he actually made the banking there in the infield that you can ramp over into the water. So if we somehow get into a wreck like that during this race, I think I just lapped the second time around for second place, and of course AJ Foy should have expected it at some point. Should have paid attention instead of pointing out things I didn't need to point out yet. That was my bad. I mean, I just kind of have to deal with it, so it's not even really the AI's fault. It's my fault for putting myself in that situation in the first place. And that took out AJ Foy, but I gotta keep going. As long as the car is not upside down or stuck, or has that weird wheel problem that like the wheel faces backward the brakes, and I'm just gonna keep going. Or if I run out of fuel somehow. We'll probably pit on lap 30. Just because we pitted I think we pitted way too early on that first stop anyways, so I think we're gonna have to take a second stop. I'm not sure about them though. I think they can go up to probably 30 as well for their first one. I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure on that, if that's logistically correct. But I know most of those cars in pit lane aren't pitting. I know they're just cars that wrecked. And you're about to retire or coming back on the racetrack or are actually pitting, like a full-fledged pit stop. Yeah, whenever we can get to lap 30, we will pit. I wish that I could make this race fun and like raceable with good speed instead of having it so strung out to where I'm pretty much dominating the entire field. Like I'm lapping them by 2 laps and other people like 6 or 5 laps. I mean, it happened in that saloon or in that Campbell race, but the difference is that there were still people on my lap, and there was people that were still faster than me. So that's how you do it right, and not do it like this, where you're just straight up faster. And also, I mean, again, it's not my fault entirely that I did it, because I have to do it that way so that we can actually have racing, or the AI just keeps wrecking every lap. I'm not like, again, I'm not mad. It's just, I know it's just these cars, these types of cars, because it's every Indy car that I've ever tried. I've raced at Indianapolis that just can't, for some reason, run that Daytona. But every other car I tried is perfectly fine. Like the American Challenge Cup cars, the sports cars. They drive fine. Even in the rain, they drive fine. So, can't do much about it. Just gonna have to deal with it. There we go. That's how I should save fuel. We'll call that one. If I missed a driver in this field, we'll call that last Elmer George that we passed somebody else. Like if you can remember who I'm missing, that'll be who it is. Because I'm missing 2 because I feel like I took over 1 car. Also, if I can find a number, I can tell who it would actually have been. Because I must have accidentally copied or pasted the same name over. Oh, look at that. This one, Elmer George is wrecked. I think he actually made it to the ocean. No, he's right there. I thought he made it to the ocean. I thought he made it to the water. I was like, oh no. Okay, we're gonna pit this time. Same strategy. I think that Elmer George is going to leave, so actually it works out well. So, brakes. Oh, I forget that this car has a real braking system, I think. Or at least I'm pretty sure. Because it feels like it. Because it feels like you lock up the rears rather than the front. I think it's literally a 2-wheel drive car. Rear wheel, like literally rear wheel. Like sometimes they just say rear wheel because it's the way that your power goes. But it's literally rear wheel with it being all in the back of the car. So we got 10 to go. We're taking a pit stop because we were gonna need a pit stop anyway. So we're gonna be low by about, I think it was 5 laps, I think. Maybe even like 7 laps, so might as well take it with 10 to go to make sure. And fill it completely up. Oh, look at that. He actually is going to take a lap back this time. We're going to try to stay on the apron as human, or as good as humanly possible here. Since they do when they pit. Oh, we lost it onto the racetrack. So we're just going to continue, I guess. That Elmer George car is just going to stay there, I guess. He must have gotten hit. Because now he's backwards unless he's trying to figure out how to get back on the racetrack, which it seems like he's not doing at all. I mean, we're going to get back to Jude Larson, but we can see what lap he's on currently. Okay, he's a lap down, so he'll be 2 laps out now. Now, it literally does not matter. Yeah, I wish I could make them faster collectively instead of super slow like this, but it's just the way the AIR repeats cars for some reason on this track. And again, it's not career of the track's fault, because every other car, even though they run very close to the wall, every other car seems to be able to get away from the wall when they need to. These guys just don't know how to stay away from the wall when they're literally like right here. Like they just go even further. Like, oh, we gotta bait them. We gotta bait them. Like they stay up here even off the corner. And it's like, dude, you have 3 more lanes right here. Like I argue this track is actually wider than what Daytona is in real life. I mean, this is the last lane right here is the apron. So I mean, you do only really have 3 lanes, but well, actually, no, you have 4 lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is literally the side, like, width of Daytona, technically. Or Talladega, I mean. Like, you literally have 4 lanes of racetrack, and you still can't make it through. Like, right here, you have 5 lanes, because you have this extra lane down here. I mean, you guys don't have trouble on the front, or on the straightaway, so I can't really make you rethink your choices from that, but here you can at least be lower. Like, it'd be nice. Only thing I don't like about this track is it is a lane wider, because Daytona is only 3 lanes wide, not 4 lanes. Like, right here would be the actual wall in real life. Unless if I'm miscounting. I mean, the safer barrier does take out like half a lane, so I mean, and they still could go forward wider in real life. So I mean, actually, no, it might be correct. I just haven't been at Daytona Simulator in a long time, like a long, long time. Like ever since 61 Daytona 500, I think. That's when the last one I've ever done. Or Firecracker, or whoever was the actual last one. I haven't been on a Daytona track for a while. And also the last one, of course, didn't even have these lines right here, so I can't even really fully judge it to be like realistically correct. So I can't really say anything. I mean, I bet you if I put stock cars on here, it would actually feel like that, but even with the sports cars, it feels just a little wider than usual. And it could just be me looking at the lane, like how many dotted lanes that they are, and then me thinking, oh, it's wider, even though in reality I think there's that many lines back in the day anyway, so I don't know. Just a bunch of rambling as we got 5 to go. Alright, car retired. See, at the end of the race it makes sense, because like we've done this distance, engines are tearing, like it makes sense that they're having trouble now. Earlier it didn't make any sense. just gotta keep my composure for 4 more laps when I cross the line, and my sanity 34 laps too. And we're good to go. Pitting now? I think they are pitting. So they wait all the way until lap 38 to pit. Unless if I'm reading that wrong, I didn't see the leaderboard correctly. George Amick is on second. Oh, he's slowing, he's really slowing. George Amick is. Don't know if that's just me going to corner and having my distance going. I think that's what it is, because it's stabilized, so he must not be wrecking. It was just drastic compared to Elmer George. He must have got like tight and got close to the wall, and I had to check up a lot. And I actually had the AI use its brain for once when something like that happens. 2 to go. I gotta look at Daytona or the 59 Daytona, because I gotta make sure I'm not going insane when I think that there's one more lane in this track than there is in real life back in the day. If I am going insane thinking that, then it must be because the safety barrier actually takes up a lot of room. And that's why tow car takes them out. Alright, last lap. Coming through turns 1 and 2, try not to lap another time for these next two in front of us. I don't think we're even going to get to them in the first place unless we're one of the wrecks. If we do, we're just going to coast behind them. But here we go. Coming down the back straightaway for the final time for this USAC race. Completely horrible, because I just absolutely destroyed the field because of the way that I have to do this race. But we made it nonetheless, mentally and physically, as we're going to drive across the line in first and going to win here at Daytona in the IndyCar. Hopefully we can do the 500 at some point for 59.